Yeah. I'm right back at you like I never left, and I'm gonna go this hard to my last breath. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Kanoom, Consul Moon. You already know what you're gonna get when you step in the room. You're now dealing with Kanoom. I'm here. And while I'm here, I'm gonna make the information direct and clear. So a lot of y'all can't hear. Now, welcome back to Make My Ancestors Great Again. This is My Thoughts, another episode of My Thoughts. This is My Thoughts 124 on God's power or the lack thereof. Okay. What am I saying? It's plenty of instances in the Bible which render God powerless. Okay. I did a short yesterday on what was it? Uh it says God was with Judah, and Judah drove out the inhabitants of the mountains. Okay. And then it goes on and says, but he could not drive out the inhabitants of the valley because they had chariots of iron. What am I saying? Okay. See, a person might take it as saying he's talking about Judah, but it's also telling you about God being with Judah. So if God was with Judah, nothing can stop him, or nothing could had rendered Judah at that moment, because God was with him, powerless. And it shows you God was with Judah, and Judah drove out the inhabitants of the mountains. But he could not drive out the inhabitants of the valley because they had chariots built of iron. So for me, that was an incapability of God. He wasn't equipped to deal with chariots of iron. Okay. So I said that God was powerless on that. I'm trying to figure out what verse that was. Let me see. Did a short video. I'm just trying to look through the videos and see if I put the verse down. Let's see. Did you know that God cannot do all things? What am I saying? In Judges 119, it says Judges 119. Okay. So I referenced that to speak about the power or the powerless um, ability that God has. Okay. This is the same type of thing. This is the story of when an angel came to Joseph, told him to wake up, always in a dream. But this was supposed to be God because God sent his angel. And if you look at it, a lot of times, the angel is actually God in certain representations. Like when the angel came to Mary, that person was God. So I didn't look at the context to see what this angel was, but all angels are some type of, they workers for God. So they higher ups. So this angel came to Joseph in a dream and said, "Hey, take that baby and get out of here." It's called the flight to Egypt. So he woke up Mary and the little baby Jesus and took him to Egypt because King Herod was going to kill all the babies because he heard that a king was born. Okay. So they ran out of there. Now, what am I saying? What does all this mean about God's power? This is an awful thing to say God couldn't do something, but God could not stop Herod from killing all the babies. When he didn't find Jesus, they said he got mad and then he killed all the rest of the children that was around that whole area. I guess that was Israel. Okay. He killed them. So God understood he cannot do anything to stop Herod. So he sent the angel and told Joseph, hey, run him to Egypt because, ain't nothing I can do. But remember, in our indoctrination as children, God can do anything. God has the whole world in his hands. Oh, Jesus, this in the name of Jesus. Jesus, pray for your sandwich. That the Lord and Jesus can help you. Listen to the story. God could not stop Herod because if he could, why would he say, hey, run that baby, hide him, run him to Egypt? When can I bring him back out? I'm going to show you the ending too, the way it concludes. When can I bring Jesus back out? When Herod dies. That's the only way he can come back out. He didn't say when I kill him. If he would have said when I kill him, I'll tell you when to bring him back out. Or he said, hey, he can't touch a hair on Jesus' head. That's my son, that's me, all wrapped in one. I'm going to kill Herod because he's trying to kill Jesus the Christ. He didn't say that. So let's look at that. Okay. I'm going to show you that. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and I thank you for watching. Let me show you that. This is showing you that God has no power. This is Matthew. It's called The Flight to Egypt. I believe it's Matthew 2:14 or 2:33. Let me see. Let me check it out. It makes it smaller on my screen, so I got to check over here. It's Matthew 2:13. Okay. This is the story about God sending the angel to say, hey, run up out of there with that baby. I can't protect you and I can't stop King Herod from doing anything because I don't have the power, in so many words. Let's listen to it. That's how the story goes now.
And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeareth to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night, and departed into Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, Out of Egypt have I called my son.
Okay. Now at the end, they throwing the trick back. In my words, and in reality, you understand God cannot do anything. He don't have any power to do anything. What am I saying? He always say, I give you free will. See, free will means just what's going on. A person can walk up to Donald Trump and blow his head off. No God is protecting him. A person can walk up to John F. Kennedy and blow his head off, which has happened. A person can walk up to Martin Luther King. A person can walk up to Malcolm X. A person can walk up to Martin Luther King's parents. A person can walk up to the Pope. If the Pope didn't have all that guarded, why is he in bulletproof cars with a caravan and all that type of stuff? Because a person can walk up to the Pope and blow his head off. No God is stopping it. God has no power, so they trick you and give you little things. He give every man free will. Man can do whatever he want to do. Why is that? When it's a power called God somewhere looming in people's beliefs that they deem is real. He can move. He can throw a car upside down. He can, if you in a 100-car pileup, he can make you walk out unscratched. He can stop all the AIDS if he want to, but he don't want to because he's seeing who trusts him. He can stop coronavirus, but he never did because he want to see who still believe in him. He can stop cancer, but he won't stop cancer because he want to know who's real warriors and all this old carrying on. That's talking about the non-power that this God has. God is powerless. Yes, I know that's hard to hear, but God is powerless. So at the end, they threw a little trick bag in there and said, hey, I'm going to do that because I want to fulfill what the prophet said. Out of Egypt, I will call my son. Now, what is a prophet? A prophet is no more than a biblical word for a psychic. Now, if you look up psychic abilities, the term psychic, anybody with a brain and anybody that does research understand that psychic abilities is fake. There's no such thing as a psychic. There's no man on this planet that's going to tell everything or foretell everything that's ever said was going to happen, and it happened 100%. There's no such thing as a psychic ability. So to trick you, they take the word psychic, which is non-existent. Do your research. There's no such thing as a psychic. And they put it in a biblical terms and said a prophet. Okay. See, a prophet is nothing but a biblical way of taking people money and saying that I'm a psychic, but I do it in a biblical manner so you can pay me. Hey, man, you want to know what's going on? I want to prophesy for you. Give me $10 or just bless me with something. See, they doing it trying not to put a price on it. Because if you're telling people I charge you to give you some psychic power, That's illegal. So in the church, they don't get taxed anyway. They're under a 501c3 nonprofit, and they don't get taxed. They say, hey, man, we bringing in a prophet. It's our prophet. He's going to tell everybody what's wrong. When you're sick, the doctor says you got 3 days. Don't listen to that doctor. I'm the prophet. God told me to tell you this. How much I owe you? This is what's in your mind. You say, hey, just give me a blessing. Whatever God told you to give me, give me. That's a form of working your psychic ability for money, but under the guise of a religious understanding. And you say, hey, man, just bless me. Whatever you feel like blessing me. Quite naturally, person ain't gonna give them no dollar unless that's all they had. They go 100, they go 50. Some people give them 1,000. Man, thank you. He go 10,000. Just depends on how much money that person have, the stature, how much he valued that information. And if he really believed that you're coming from a God type of understanding, which is a prophet, he's willing to pay handsomely. Okay. So that was a lie. That's the way that they get that in there and say, hey, a prophet said, out of Egypt, I'm going to call my son, the son of God, and all this carrying on. That's the inability of God having no power to stop Herod. He could have said, hey, I'm going to kill Herod. He's not going to touch him anyway, but I want to send Jesus to Egypt and bring him back out so I can fulfill that. That's not what's going on here. He ran him, said, hey, run him to Egypt because he's going to harm that little boy, going to kill him. There's nothing I can do. Run him to Egypt. How long do we have to stay there? Till Herod dies. It didn't have nothing to do about no prophet, which is nothing but a psychic, which don't exist, saying out of Egypt, I bring my son. That's the bull crap. That's the understand. None of this happened in reality, but that's the 100% understanding that this is nothing but mythology, allegory, and fiction, because psychics is fiction. So a prophet is fiction. You hear me? This is how the story goes now. Now let's get back to the story. This God couldn't do nothing until Herod died. I'm gonna conclude that, and I'm gonna show you where it says he can come back out now. Talking about a prophet. Don't have nothing to do with a prophet. Right here, return to Nazareth. This is the conclusion of the story.
But when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Lord appeareth in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, Arise, and take the young child and his mother, and go into the land of Israel, for they are dead which sought the young child's life.
See that?
And when they were departed,
for they are dead which sought the young child's life. Herod. Okay. So that's what is that? This is still Matthew. I'm just trying to look at the end. It gets smaller over here. So let me look at it on my side real quick. The conclusion of the story is Matthew right here. Matthew 2:19 is when he said, hey, you can come out now. Let's see. Let me let it play one more time. You can come out now.
But when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Lord appeareth in a dream to Joseph.
You hear that? But when Herod was dead, God sent another angel. He can never do nothing by himself because he don't have no power. Let's listen to it one more time.
But when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Lord appeareth in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, Arise, and take the young child and his mother, and go into the land of Israel, for they are dead which sought the young child's life.
For they are dead that sought the young child life. So don't think that Herod was in some battle and the Lord sent people to kill him. No, he died at 69 years old. If you look it up, whatever, it don't even matter because it wasn't real. He died in his bed because he was sick. Don't think the Lord did something to kill him, because if that's the case, he wouldn't have said, he would have said, don't leave. I'm going to take care of Herod right now. He's not going to dare touch me. Got to remember, when God is talking, that he's talking Jesus the Christ, God, all these people all in one. So he would have said, hey, I'm going to kill Herod from trying to kill me as a baby. I'm going to take care of him right now. Don't worry. I got his ass. This God, he's the strongest man, supposed to be the best thing smoking. He don't supposed to say, hey, run me out of town so that Herod won't kill me. And then I'll bring me back in town. I'll tell you when to bring me back in town. This God, I'll tell you when to bring the baby me back into town when he died. It don't make no sense, but this is how the story goes now. So God has no power. Sorry, I was long-winded, but I wanted to tell you that he has zero power. All that time about he got the world in his hands and all that, that's allegory, mythology, and fiction. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Kanoom Consul Moon. You already know what you're gonna get when you step in the room. You now dealing with Kanoom. This is what I do, and I love to do it. And before I take back what I said, I add some more to it. Now, am I attacking God? No. Am I telling the truth? Yes. Is this derogatory teaching or some type of kick around the Bible teaching? No. When you telling the truth, it can never be misconstrued as hate, derogatory teaching, demeaning, or some ignorant, whatever, however you want to think or look at me as any of those terms. When you tell the truth is what it is. God has no power. You can attest to that. God has never came down here and did anything. He does what he always do. Sit back at home when COVID, HIV, police killing African men all in the streets of America, slavery, civil rights, Jim Crow. He sit back at home like this with his head behind his back, just sitting in the bed. And then when things get better, you pray and say you gave it to God. See how God changed that? So God has never had any power. I didn't render him powerless. The Bible did. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and I thank you for watching it. Remember, education and preparation is the first step to retaliation. So before you pick up a gun, pick up some knowledge. Yeah, yeah.